Mr. Chair.
The Honourable Hakia Parata.
Tēnā koe te hea mana, huri no I tō tātou whare, tēnā koutou katoa. Mr. Chair, Aotearoa New Zealand is blessed with abundant natural resources, and together with smart New Zealanders, we are able to come up with a portfolio of energy options that meet the needs of New Zealanders today and into the future. And this government is focused on striking a balance between our concern for ensuring sound environmental management while also exploring the economic opportunities that are open to us. We are a government that's focused on and, not either one thing or the other, but what balance of a mixed portfolio we can bring to bear for New Zealanders now and into the future. We are absolutely committed to energy and resources as a cornerstone of our growth agenda, of our economy, and of our long-term sustainable commitment to our environment for ourselves and for future generations. We have, on the one hand, renewables. We have a goal in this country of achieving 90% renewables as the basis of our electricity generation. And I'm pleased to say that in 2010 we achieved 74% of that target, and in the March quarter of this year, 79%. In 2005, 9% of our renewable energy was made up from geothermal and wind, of which we seem to get a significant amount on my left. And today, in 2011, we are at 17%. Mr. Chair, this government remains committed to achieving that target, so not only have we achieved the highest ever deliverables in this regard at 79%, but we've also had the largest consented amount of renewable energy as well. We have an ETS which puts a price on carbon, and we are already seeing behaviour changing in that regard. We have a national policy statement which will inform decision makers under the Resource Management Act about the commitment of this government to see more renewables. New Zealand joined the International Renewable Energy Agency for the first time this year. In the report by the International Energy Agency, it commented positively on New Zealand's balanced approach to using its resources in a sustainable way. It commended New Zealand for its target on renewables, while also identifying that the world of which New Zealand is a part is on a journey to a low-carbon future, but it will take some transitioning. So as part of this government's balanced commitment to taking advantage of all of our abundant resources, in 2009 we announced a commitment to our Petroleum Action Plan. In partnering with the Science Institutes of New Zealand, we have identified significant potential in oil and gas and minerals here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. The member who recently left the chamber bemoaned the fact that 2 football teams of people have left the north to go and seek jobs in Perth. Guess what jobs those people have secured? They've secured them in the mining industry in Perth. And many of the 77,000 Māori who have gone overseas, many of whom are related to the Honourable Shane Jones and Kelvin Davis, and who applaud their aspirations to be involved in employment, many of those would prefer the opportunity for higher jobs and better incomes right here in New Zealand. And so this government does not resile from its commitment to explore the oil and gas and mineral potential that has been identified here in New Zealand. And so we have established in the Ministry of Economic Development the New Zealand Petroleum and Minerals Group, who are very focused on how we can ensure that the permitting processes that we have in place are sound and inclusive of those who have interests around the country, iwi, regional and local government, regional development agencies. They're focused on ensuring that we bring in the best possible price for New Zealand in the oil and petroleum area, Mr. Chair. And I want to tell the House tonight that petroleum is New Zealand's fourth largest export earner. In the 2009, Mr Chair...
Honourable Peggy Parata.
Thank you, Mr Chair. In the 2009-10 financial year, exports totalled $2.1 billion. In the 5 years between 2004 and 2009, the New Zealand government earned approximately $1.4 billion in tax and $1.1 billion in royalties. And Mr Chair, where does this money go? It goes to fund our schools, it goes to fund our hospitals, it goes to fund our roads, our police force. Mr Chair, all of this money supports all the aspirations of New Zealanders who are committed to being participants in a first world economy. But I have more good news to share in the energy and resources area, Mr Chair. In the electricity reforms that this government instituted upon coming into government, we have brought about significant changes there, and the sector is able to operate more efficiently and more effectively than it ever has done before. We have as a cornerstone of those reforms the establishment of the Electricity Authority, which has a significant work agenda set out in legislation and which it is on target to achieve. Notwithstanding that it came into force only on the 1st of November last year, we expect that they will be able to deliver on that work agenda by the 1st of November this year. But one of the significant reforms that I want to talk about that the Electricity Authority has overseen, and which reflects this government's commitment to ensuring that competition exists not only on the supply side but also on the demand side. On the supply side, for instance, this government has ensured that there's better competition in the South Island by transferring Tekapō A and Tekapō B from Meridian to Genesis Energy. On the demand side, many of you will have observed, and I hope participated in, the What's My Number campaign, which requires just a short trip onto the internet to www.whatsmynumber.org.nz. And, well, I would repeat for the member, thank you, www.whatsmynumber.org.nz. And I share this with you because 448,952 New Zealanders have visited that website, and they have accrued an estimated savings of $55 to $56 million. The average time spent on that website, more productively than other websites that may be mentioned tonight, of 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Now, the point of this website is that we are very conscious as a government around cost of living issues. Electricity, power consumption in homes is a significant part of that, and what this website does and the opportunity to switch does, it puts power in the hands of consumers to decide whether they're getting the best deal from their retailer, and if not, they can switch. Now, unlike members on the opposition benches, we actually trust that if consumers are given information and given tools, they will make powerful choices for themselves, and some 349,477 unique visitors to this website are making those choices, and 29,453 have initiated a switch. Now, that switch means that they will accrue savings, but more than that, it will continue to drive down prices by increasing the competition between retailers. And I'm sure that that gladdens the heart and warms the homes of many New Zealanders. And I would like to happily segue in the minute I have left into the Warm Up New Zealand Heat Smart campaign, being run, thank you very much, by the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Authority. Under this government, we have invested in 188,500 homes to receive, to be installed with insulation that will warm their homes, as well as install efficient heating, so that that will reduce their power bills, it will increase their health, it will mean better sleep for students so they go to school the next day sharp and ready to be taught by teachers who have been able to identify through national standards which of these students at an early age need assistance. Now, the Warm Up New Zealand Heat Smart campaign has been extremely effective around the country. We've passed the 100,000th milestone, and we look forward to working with more and more local councils with targeted rate schemes to make that available to more New Zealanders. Thank you.
Call Chris Tremaine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to